Hi there, I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent training. In this video, we'll look at reductions for the phrases that is his, that is her, those are his, those are her, and these are your. We'll use this in combination with repeated phrase practice and shadowing so you can get used to saying these phrases smoothly and easily. First, let's break down the phrases. When we say that is his in fluent speech, we typically contract that and is to that's, and we drop the H of his. So it sounds like that's is. I've rewritten that for you here, respelled it, so you can visualize that's is when you're thinking about that's his or that is his. And then on the right, I've added some categories so that when you're practicing, you can follow and repeat my ideas, but you can also practice that's is and think of things that fill in a category. So for example, I'm thinking of clothing, that's his hat, that's his coat. I'm thinking of items on the table, that's his knife, that's his fork, because often having to think of what to say is a good part of the challenge when you're doing repeated phrase practice, but in this case, you may just want to go through and have it be slightly easier, have a category of things you're thinking of. Let's practice with that's his first, and then we'll move on to the other phrases. That's his hat. That's his coat. That's his tie. That's his pants. We might say those are his pants as well. That's his shirt. That's his jacket. That's his belt. That's his knife. That's his fork. That's his plate. That's his spoon. That's his cup. That's his mug. That's his napkin. You can pause the video, keep going with your own that's is, and add in phrases. You could talk about categories like animals, household items, colors, etc. Now let's look at that is her. Very similar here, where we contract that is to that's. We drop the H of her, so it sounds like that's her. Repeat after me. That's her hat. That's her coat. That's her tie. That's her shirt. That's her jacket. That's her belt. That's her knife. That's her fork. That's her plate. That's her spoon. That's her cup. That's her mug. That's her napkin. You could go on, talk about pets, for example, that's her cat, that's her dog. Add your own phrases to practice feeling fluent and natural, reducing that is her to that's her. For those are his, we reduce the R to an and link it to those are. And then we drop the H of his. So it sounds like those are his. Those are his. We use this with those, we use with plurals. So we'll do some categories of family members, etc. Let's try repeating and shadowing those are his. Those are his kids. Those are his parents. Those are his brothers. Those are his sisters. Those are his co-workers. Those are his friends. Those are his ideas. Those are his thoughts. Those are his favorites. Those are his concerns. Those are his plans. Those are his apples. Those are his oranges. Those are his bananas. Those are his peaches. Those are his melons. Those are his strawberries. For those are her, very similar. We say those are her, those are her. It's a little more challenging, so in some cases you may want to say those are her because that can be a little bit difficult. But basically, same idea where R gets reduced to and links to those are. And then we may or may not leave off the H sound of her, those are her, or those are her. I'll do a mix as I'm practicing. You can see whatever's easiest for you. It's not necessary to drop the H here if it makes it too difficult with the double ers. Let's get going. Those are her kids. Those are her parents. Those are her brothers. Those are her sisters. Those are her co-workers. Those are her friends. Those are her ideas. Those are her thoughts. Those are her favorites. Those are her concerns. Those are her plans. Those are her apples. Those are her oranges. Those are her bananas. Those are her peaches. Those are her melons. Those are her strawberries. And finally, for these are your, the R gets reduced to It sounds like these are, as we link, these are. And then your gets reduced to just your. These are your, these are your. Let's go ahead and practice in some short phrases. Shadow and imitate after me. These are your kids. These are your parents. These are your brothers. These are your sisters. These are your co-workers. These are your friends. These are your ideas. These are your thoughts. These are your favorites. These are your concerns. These are your plans. These are your apples. These are your oranges. These are your bananas. These are your peaches. These are your melons. These are your strawberries. If you're finding it challenging to repeat these full phrases, these are your, with the double reductions, you can always practice just basic reductions first. For example, you might want to practice using your instead of your, and you can use the same word lists. So for example, your kids, your parents, your brothers. You can also practice just the these are as these are. These are apples. These are oranges. These are bananas. These reductions happen in connected speech both back to back, like in these examples, and by themselves. You can get some more practice for simple reductions on single reduction words in our playlist for reductions, and also, of course, more combinations besides these 5 phrases. I hope this helped you practice to become more fluent and natural when speaking English. Don't forget to add that step of using these and adding a few of your own words. That makes it a little bit more challenging if I have to think of what to say. And you can use categories to help you with that. You can also look around you and label things that you see. These are your desks, these are your lamps, etc. Using that technique will help you to develop and build a little bit more skill in feeling natural using these reductions and linking. Thanks so much for practicing with me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com.